Hello, I'm Roman, and in this presentation I will talk about virtual teamwork. We can already see elements of virtual teamwork in almost every modern organization, and we are very likely to see much more of it in the future. In this presentation, I will first have a look at the basic specifics of virtual teamwork. I will define virtual teams and talk about concepts of trust and leadership. Then I will focus on the tools that we can use to support virtual teamwork, and in the third part of the presentation I will talk about knowledge management. When defining virtual teams, we can come across many features that make them specific, but the two very basic features are geographic dispersion of members, the fact that they are in different geographic locations, and extensive use of ICT for communication within the team. Few teams are purely virtual or purely face-to-face, so it makes sense to define virtual teams on a scale of virtuality based on the level of geographic dispersion of members and the level of use of ICT for communication. We also have to remember that team is not just a group of people who randomly exchange messages, but that the members of a team always work interdependently together to achieve a shared goal. A very important concept for any kind of teamwork is trust. This is often defined as willingness to become vulnerable to the result of another party's action without being able to control this action. Basically, this means that we are relying on someone else to do their work well. One of the basic conditions of building trust is that the team members know each other well. They need to know who they are working with and what they can expect from those people. In virtual teams, this can be facilitated by using various tools such as blogs, personal profiles, or even video conferencing. What is also very important is that the users accept the technology and tools that we have selected to support the particular virtual team, and that they feel comfortable using the technology. In short, the users have to trust the technology too. In virtual teams, members rarely discuss what they did last weekend or what their holiday plans are, and trust is usually developed during discussions about the problem that the team is solving, and is thus based mostly on professional competence. Another very important concept is leadership. This can be defined as any communication behavior that helps the team move in the direction of their goal. The leaders of virtual teams can be both appointed or emergent. While appointed leaders are usually formally assigned to be the leader in the beginning of the project, emergent leaders just emerge from the group in some specific situations. In every case, the leader of a virtual team must have all the necessary technology skills to perform all basic leadership functions. Leaders' responsibility is not only to distribute tasks, but also to motivate team members or mediate conflict between them. The members of a virtual team need to feel the presence of the leader, the fact that the leader is still with the team. This is called telepresence, and it is ensured through a stream of communication between the leader and the other team members. This communication can't be just random, it has to be related to the actual problem that the team is working on. There are quite many tools that have been designed to support virtual teamwork. We must select such tools that will together provide support for the three basic functions: communication, collaboration, and coordination. Communication is exchange of messages between the team members, collaboration is working together on a shared output, and coordination is putting the efforts of individual team members together. Some of the tools are more task-related, they support mostly the problem-solving part of teamwork. Other tools are more social related, and they allow the team members to socialize and build trust. When selecting tools for a virtual team, we must be aware of all environmental factors, such as the level of skills that the members of the team have, their technology literacy, or the already existing ICT infrastructure that the team might use. We also need to be aware of the requirements, such as the frequency of communication, and whether we need this communication to be real-time or whether we can be well off with asynchronous communication. Let's now have a look at some of the tools. We can use traditional communication tools like email, instant messaging, or discussion boards. Probably every virtual team will use some of these tools, but they aren't sufficient by themselves, as we also need to support collaboration and coordination. Wikis and file repositories are very useful for information sharing, and they mostly support collaboration. These tools also provide a good platform for knowledge management. Newer tools for video conferencing, audio conferencing, or computer conferencing help virtual teams to overcome the disadvantages of not being in face-to-face contact and enable real-time communication. Integrated groupware and workflow applications combine functionality to support all three basic functions: communication, collaboration, and coordination. Coordination is often supported in the form of scheduling features such as Gantt charts and other visual methods. A typical example of a groupware application is Lotus Notes and Domino Server. If we want to use some integrated groupware application, we have to carefully set the rules that the users will follow so that all use the application consistently and know what the actions of other team members mean in the context of the whole environment. The newest tools for virtual teams are virtual reality collaboration environments. These are not very widely used yet, but in the future they could help overcome most of the disadvantages of not being in face-to-face contact. Members of a team could meet in virtual spaces and hold meetings, discuss problems, and cooperate as if they were in a face-to-face environment. However, these environments still can't solve the problem of time differences.